I'm gonna be honest here. When I saw this movie, I honestly forgot it was a musical. Like, the movie kicked on, the whole, Walt Disney Castle thing's right there, it zooms in, then they start singing, and then I was just like, oh right, it's a musical. I'm not sure how I forgot that, but there it is. Into the Woods. So Into the Woods is a new musical. It stars a lot of different people. Covers a lot of different fairy tales that we all grew up on. The main story is this baker and his wife, played by Emily Blunt. I don't remember who plays the baker. But they both want a child, and there's this curse on their house. So the witch next door, played by Meryl Streep, she comes over to their house and she says, alright, I can lift this curse on your house if you bring me these 4 things from the woods. So then they're like, alright, let's go, we're on our adventure. All the while there's a subplot with Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. Cinderella's in there, Rapunzel's in there for a point, that's a lot of people. And a lot of times in movies that try to focus on a lot of people, a lot of the characters kind of get sidestepped. You don't care about a single character and the movie just ends up falling flat. Is that the case with Into the Woods? Well, the movie did kind of fall flat, but not for that reason. I think the cast did a really good job. Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, Chris Pine was in the movie too as the prince. He was really funny, I liked him. And they're all good singers. I mean, no one stands out as like a really bad singer and no one really outshines anybody. They're all kind of like equally good, which is a good thing. I liked it. The music in the movie is really cool. I really liked the opening song. It starts the entire story, so it weaves together all the different plots. And so they're all kind of singing in harmony with each other. It was really cool to see. It's hard to explain right now, but if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. One problem I do have with a lot of these live-action fairy tales is I feel like they overact in these types of movies. And granted, this movie is a Broadway play, and so a lot of people overact in Broadway because they have to project their voice and stuff. But sometimes things that work well on Broadway don't always transition well to the big screen. Another example of that is Johnny Depp as the wolf in this movie. Johnny Depp's a good actor. I like Johnny Depp at times. And in the Broadway version of this play, the wolf is played by a dude who has, like a top hat and he's got ears glued to it. They use a bunch of face paint to make him look like a wolf. So yeah, that works for Broadway. But in the movie where they have this giant budget and they have a bunch of CGI and stuff, what do they do for the wolf? They make him a dude with a top hat with ears glued onto it with a bunch of face paint. And I actually asked someone that I know who is into musicals, I was like, okay, so is Johnny Depp supposed to be an actual wolf, or is he supposed to be a dude who's dressed up like a wolf who they call the wolf? And then she told me, no, he's supposed to be an actual wolf, which makes absolutely no sense. If he's supposed to be a wolf in this movie where they have the CGI and the effects to do that, then make him look like an actual wolf. It seems like a small thing because he's not in the movie that much, but it's just one of those things I feel like I should address. And another thing that didn't work well from the transition to Broadway to big screen was the ending. Oh my goodness. There's a point about 90 minutes into this movie, it feels like it's wrapping up. I'm like, alright, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Cool stuff. But then the movie keeps going for, it felt like another 45 minutes. I didn't check my watch once during that first 90 minutes. I must have checked it about like 10 times in that last 45 minutes. I almost walked out of the theater, to be honest. Like, it could have just ended there and it would have been fine, but it just keeps going and going and going, and it's just digging its own grave slowly and slowly. So finally, when the movie did actually end, I was super excited to leave the theater. It's just such a bummer because the first part of the movie was really cool, and then that last part was just terrible. They kept going with these subplots that I didn't care about, plots that were pretty much resolved in the first part of the movie anyways. Stuff that just did not need to be dragged on. And you could argue, well, The Return of the King had an ending like that. It kept going and going and going. Yeah, but The Return of the King was culminating a giant like 12-hour epic of movies. There are a lot of different things that need to be tied up, and the endings were actually good. None of those apply with Into the Woods. So Into the Woods had good music, it had a good cast, it had a good first and second act, and the third act sucked a lot. So with that being said, I'm going to give Into the Woods a C+. Check it out if you want. Everyone's gonna know the part that I'm talking about, so if you want to leave after that point, fine, you'll probably enjoy the movie more. Or if you want to stay for the entire thing, you can do that too. You might enjoy the ending. I hated it. So my question for you guys is, what's your favorite musical translated to a movie of all time? Mine, dude, Rock of Ages. Actually, I might want to think about that one a little bit more. For now, I'm going with Rock of Ages, whatever. So comment down below with your musical of choice. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you guys like it, you can go subscribe. I'll catch you guys another time.